It's Thursday, October 20th, and you're tuned in to the TNIAB podcast. I'm Vince.
I'm Anthony.
And this is the Geek Chic Culture Show. We talk about all the cool things in the whole wide world. I don't know if you know this, but apparently we're moving into a recession.
Dude, I've been hearing about it for months at the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all like, this is going to suck. But then it just keeps not happening. So.
Yeah, but then I've been having moments this past week where I feel like the signs are there, it's coming.
Yeah.
Only because I have a couple, I wouldn't say pre-orders, but let's just say waitlisted items that I've been trying to get for a while.
Mm-hmm.
From this week, I've been getting calls from different outlets about how, would you like this item? I have it available now for you.
And you're like, no.
No, yeah, exactly. That's basically what I'm doing.
Give me the thing I ordered.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. Except for one item.
Okay.
As you know, I bought a car.
You did?
But
I assume that's what you were hinting at with the previous example.
No, I'm talking about bikes and watches.
Oh, okay.
But the car, I got a call from the guy. He's like, I got an update on your car.
Okay.
I was like, what's up? And he's like, the update is there is no update.
Why?
And I didn't know how to respond to that because I was like,
okay.
Is he being really courteous? Or at this point, he's just an asshole. I didn't know where the line was.
When was the last time that he had called about the car?
September.
That's so, what? Not even a month?
Yeah. So the beginning of September. So I just didn't know. I was like, oh, okay, thanks for thinking of me.
Okay.
But, what?
Why? Yeah. Why are you calling me?
Yeah. It kind of blew my mind. I was like, okay, well, that sucks. But
what am I going to do?
Yeah. Oh, well. Big whoop.
I feel like you've been waiting on this car for 10 years now.
It's not as long as you think.
Okay.
It's just April.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what, 6 months?
All right.
Right? May to October?
I thought it's at least been a year, but maybe I just been
No.
hearing about it.
No, it's only been 6 months at the most. And I think if you put your name down now for one, they quote you for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I don't know. Whatever. Hopefully it comes in spring.
That's still so far.
But I don't want it in the winter.
Why not? Just get all that salt on the undercarriage, baby.
Exactly. I don't want it in the winter.
You got to get that coat, that anti-salt
No.
coat, anti-rust coating.
I don't want to have to worry about paying for all these things when I get it. So
All right.
I want to just do stuff. Anyways, speaking of doing stuff happened this week. Wouldn't you know?
Oh, a bunch of stuff happened this week.
Tons of stuff.
Tons.
Of stuff. Last week, who was it that is decided that online game streaming is not dead?
Google.
But didn't they say it's dead?
Yeah, they were like, oh yeah, they said it was dead. They're like, bruh, the Stadia cannot go on.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
And then that was the week before that was Logitech being like,
Oh, yeah.
check out our sick cloud only Switch.
Yeah. And then Google came back and said, we got
bad news. Stadia's gone.
Yeah, but we got Google Chromebook streaming gaming.
Yeah, streaming
laptops.
gaming laptops, yes.
Well, guess who else is stepping into the ring?
I thought cloud gaming was dead. What's going on?
Guess who's stepping into the streaming gaming space?
Apple.
No.
Oh, okay.
Netflix.
What?
That's the one.
Huh?
Netflix. I believe they had a Q3 investor call,
Mm-hmm.
and they had announced that, yes, they're stepping into the streaming cloud gaming services.
Yep.
I don't know when, but it's probably going to sometime happen next year. So be on the lookout for that. But the big announcement is they're going to crack down on account sharing outside your household.
I heard about this.
And the way they're going to do it is, I believe, if they find a user outside of your home address, you get charged an additional $2 on your account.
Per time they catch you?
No, per month.
Oh, okay.
Per month. So if my sister has it, right, and she's in a different house, so
Yeah.
that just means that it's my current plan plus $2.
That's still cheaper.
It's cheaper than buying another
two
one,
separate, but
but no.
yeah, it's a little bit dirt nasty.
It's a nah.
Is it $2 per person outside of the house? Like if there's 3 houses on the one account?
You know how your account has different profiles?
Yeah.
I think the way they said every additional profile, they're going to charge you if one of those profiles appears outside of your household.
Dude, it's time to invest in NordVPN.
Yeah, so I was just like, geez, that kind of blows.
That's kind of dirty.
But the other thing they announced, and they kind of shadow announced it,
okay.
was that Netflix on their base tier.
Mm-hmm.
Their basic tier, the cheapest tier, one screen only.
Yep.
I think 1080p max.
I believe so.
You're going to be served with ads.
I thought the ad tier was a separate tier.
No, it's the low tier.
So, okay. So now, because when they originally announced it, it sounded like the ad tier was going to be a tier below the base tier.
No, it is the base tier.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Bro, what?
Yeah.
They just reinvented TV at this point.
It's happening.
It's
happening.
Have they mentioned like what the ads are going to be like? Like, is it going to be like television length ads in between your shows? Or
I couldn't tell you, but I imagine it's probably going to follow somewhere down the lines of what YouTube does with mid rolls.
But so the thing with mid roll ads on YouTube is that they're like 5 to 15 seconds max,
or 30.
Oh yeah, but you skip those at 10 seconds.
Sometimes you don't have the option.
You've had a point where you couldn't skip a 30-minute ad.
That's right. I backed out of the video, then I re-clicked.
I've never had that happen to me. That's crazy.
How often do you watch YouTube on your PlayStation?
Very little.
Exactly.
Because I have my whole setup around my PC now.
Yeah, and you have ad blocker.
But even when I watch it on my phone.
Yeah, on the PlayStation, it's definitely... Or like if you watch YouTube via... Like, you know how televisions have software?
Yeah.
You watch it through there? Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's insane.
Yeah, it's wild. Have you heard about the things YouTube tests on like their beta accounts?
No.
They tried doing 10 unskippable ads in a row.
Dude, what are they, Twitch?
They're just trying to recoup lost cost.
Dude, they've never made a profit. All right, just admit.
No,
it's a bad business model.
You're right. They have never made a profit, but now they're just like really in the deficit because of the way content is moving towards 4K. And
maybe like that's like one of the things where it's like anything beyond, to me still, anything beyond 1080p is like a luxury.
No, for sure it is,
right?
Yeah.
And it's like just put that shit behind YouTube Red. Like you want to watch shit in 2K and 4K, just put that behind YouTube Red.
So, first of all, Red doesn't exist, it's just premium.
Whatever, just put it behind YouTube Premium.
And that's the next thing they're testing. They put 4K behind the premium tier.
That is less aggressive. To me, I would be fine with that change.
Yeah, I think I would too. I would hate it because then it would get me to buy.
Yeah, but then you'd also have no ads ever. Yeah. Right. So
like those are. It's a weird world we're moving into.
And then you can watch the Vsauce exclusive series Minefield, only available on YouTube Red.
But still, the idea that like I thought like the day has come where now I'm like, yeah, I think I'll pay for YouTube. Like what?
Yeah.
What?
It's definitely one of those things where like this shit worked. The way the internet worked was because everything was so jank.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone was low quality. We dealt with it because it was free. But now that the internet is mainstream and everybody has the internet and nobody watches cable anymore, the demands go up, but you cannot meet those demands on the same jank business model.
Yeah, it's messed up stuff.
So
it's messed up.
You know what else? No, it's still free though.
What?
4chan.org. Just get all your gifts there.
Yeah, it's hard to argue though. YouTube is that's where all the content lives.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's also kind of scary to look at YouTube and be like, this is the only video platform. Like, who's using Vimeo? Nobody. Who's using LiveLeak? People who upload like Chinese factory gore videos.
Hell yeah.
and then like you go to World Star Hip Hop to see some ratchet ass shit. Like there's no competitor, and the thing with that is it's too expensive for anybody to be a competitor.
Yeah. If Google can't be like, we want to eat these costs, then no one can.
Not even that. Fucking Microsoft.
Yeah.
When they tried to make their Twitch competitor, they lasted 6 months. And they're like, we out, kids. Instead, we're going to spend $18 billion, whatever the fuck it is, to buy Activision. Like,
that's a smarter play.
If they got that kind of money to throw around and even they couldn't compete with Twitch, like an established channel, that's crazy.
Yep.
There really is going to have to be like some sort of, like back in like the 40s, it was like they broke up the banks or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be like the breaking of like entertainment industries.
Probably. There's going to have to be.
Yeah.
But so that's some interesting stuff.
That's crazy. I can't believe it's the base tier. I thought they were going to make a separate lower tier.
Nah, it's the base tier.
So Is this mean that technically the base tier is now a little lower price than it was before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Brutal.
Okay.
That sucks.
That sucks. You know what sucks? Well, it actually depends.
All right. Tell me.
G4 TV, baby.
Dude, Attack of the Show? Kevin Pereira? Olivia Munn?
Yeah.
Or who's the other girl on there? No, that was X-Play.
No,
Adam Sessler and
Morgan
Morgan Webb.
Morgan
Goddamn.
Webb. Anyways, grew up with G4 TV.
Yeah, G4. My aunt and uncle had satellite TV. So whenever I'd go over, I'd run up there and try and watch G4 because we didn't have it at home.
Yeah. G4 TV is where I learned that sex sells.
It does.
Like, I know women are attractive, but that was like the first time it was in my demographic and being targeted me,
Yeah.
and like Morgan Webb was doing something and be like, oh, I understand why they have this pretty lady here.
True. It wasn't. You mean it wasn't that that Rayman ad where he's pissing at the urinal?
Certainly not. Certainly not.
In EGM. No?
Definitely not.
God damn.
Yeah. And then Olivia Munn showed up and it was all over, and I was like, ah, shit. Anyways,
And you're like, I have awoken.
pretty much.
I have sentience now.
I understand. I understand. And then they died at just before like the whole video game mainstream thing came alive.
Yeah.
G4 TV.
They were stuck on cable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just died. Anyways, they came back like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, that's a lie. They came back less than a year.
Has it been less than a year?
Been less than a year.
For the amount of news I hear about G4 TV,
yeah,
I thought it was longer.
Been less than a year, and they're shutting their doors again.
Oh,
Lights, homies.
Did they say like what? I assume it was just like people weren't watching, but
Yeah, I think investors said like they tried to push it, but like when an audience just doesn't bite, just doesn't bite. I think it just goes to show that or at least the audience for this kind of stuff is more into personalized content that influencers provide, as opposed to these big production studios.
But you know what didn't help G4?
What?
Them constantly shitting on their core demographic at any chance they had.
No, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
Like they basically treated them like pay pigs. What was that girl with the silver hair? She like went on like a fucking rant about like gamers and stuff.
I have no idea.
Like gamer, I forget her name, but like every time they were in the news, it was like Adam Sessler and then some lesbian with a silver haircut is dunking on gamers, calling them all misogynist assholes.
Is this the recent G4?
Yeah,
oh,
this is the current one, and they just constantly were like just shitting on the people who would watch them, and it's like, well, okay, that's one way to create an audience, I guess.
Because like the only thing I know about the current G4 is that Asian girl's on it.
I have no idea.
Gina Darling, I want to say
Her name's
name is?
Darling.
I don't know. I think that's her username, her ID handle.
Okay.
But the only reason I know her is because, like, do you remember back in the day when, like, Nigahiga was big and, like, JK News and Wong Fu?
Yeah.
I think she was on the JK News thing.
Oh, I know this girl.
But then,
I've
like,
seen her before.
Yeah, but she looked like that, like, 10 years ago. And I'm like, how old is this girl?
Dude, Asian don't raisin.
But anyways, yeah, bye-bye, G4.
Yeah,
Lights.
I guess. You didn't do anything. Adam Sessler just went on, was angry, and then they shit on their core audience. I don't know what the fuck you expect.
I don't know. I don't know. Someone had to.
Someone had to do it. Someone had to do it.
Everyone
to
was
him.
being too nice to chat, so we had
Exactly.
to throw some shit at them.
Bunch of losers.
Next,
That's what we did. And look where we are now.
Next up, Xbox Elite Controller 2 has officially hit Xbox Studios Design Lab. If you've ever wanted to create your own Elite 2 controller
I do.
in any color you want, it's available.
I do. I have.
Ah,
I didn't buy it, but I did design it.
You went through the design process,
did.
eh? So what's interesting here is you have to buy the controller and all the Elite components separately. It's not just a package deal.
Well, you can get just the controller if you want.
But come on.
I know. Yeah. It's like
Come
when they announced the controller too, and they're like, the base model will only come with the controller, and you're like, really? Huh?
Yeah, it's like the shitty thing about this is if you design the base controller, it costs as much as if you were just to buy the regular Elite with everything in it.
Yeah.
So you're spending basically an extra $100 to get everything in the colors you want.
Yeah.
Worth.
It kind of is like there's
an Overwatch one.
Well, you can make it yourself.
I might need. Oh,
You know?
no.
The death. That's so boring.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can like customize the ring that surrounds the joystick and then the joystick stem separate from the
I'm looking at
pad.
it. I'm liking it.
I made the ugliest controller I possibly could.
I know you did.
It was like green, purple, yellow, orange, red. It was like I made sure no color overlapped, and I almost bought it.
Dang, cool.
And you like even the paddles at the back, you can
Yeah.
color those separate from something else.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane. It's so crazy.
It's $90 Canadian. to do
Canadian.
this. Oh yeah, look at these.
Right? I
kind of want.
I can't, and you can pick what D-pad you want. If you want the round one or the square one or the cross one.
Why would you not want the cross?
Because you get the round one right on the controller, but then the extra one you
Oh,
get
I see.
is
yeah.
the thing. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can even customize the carrying case.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's kind of nutty, not gonna lie, the amount of options they give you. But as a gamer myself,
Oh god.
you know,
Shut up.
I do want this like ugly ass custom thing I made in my head. So
Man, video games have become so expensive.
everything's become so expensive. We're going into a recession. We can't afford these controllers. All right, we just said it at the top of the show.
Oh god, but they're so cool.
They are very cool. It's true.
Very, very cool. My last pick. Have you been keeping up with the latest Formula One drama?
I heard there's some drama around Ferrari.
No.
Like people think they're cheating and they're.
No.
I thought it was like the who's that driver that's on Ferrari now, the Spanish guy.
Carlos Sainz?
Yeah, he was like in an interview being like, we really care about keeping under the cap
Yeah.
and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So like I heard like people were dunking on Ferrari.
No,
thinking that,
Ferrari's fine.
okay,
Mercedes is fine.
all right.
Red Bull's not. So last year, Formula One, for the first time in its history, introduced a cost cap.
Okay.
Your total development budget could be $145 million.
Okay.
Okay? Just to level the playing field so that it would stop teams like Red Bull, Mercedes, and specifically Ferrari
Mm-hmm.
just throwing money at the problem until they became the winners.
Yeah, they pull a Disney.
Yeah. So F1 introduced a cost cap, so that is the maximum amount you could spend. It does not include driver salary, or else.
Yeah, no one would build a car. It'd be a soapbox derby.
Yeah. So that's what you have to know. I think it doesn't include driver salary and like executive level
Okay.
salary,
Yeah.
but everything else.
But like crew and
Yeah.
like all that stuff. This is
Yeah, travel
engineers.
costs.
Yeah.
Logistics. They're all in there. Anyways, they trialed it out in 2020, as in like they did a fake one
Mhm.
or like a mock one, just so people understood the rules.
Mhm.
2021 is the year they implemented the rules, and this is now the year after where they're verifying everyone's 2021 budget.
Ooh, okay.
Turns out everybody stayed within the cost cap, except one team,
I assume it's Red Bull.
Red Bull Racing,
What'd they do?
broke the cost cap.
By how much? And what was the cost cap?
So the cost cap's 145 million,
Okay.
and they said so. There's actually no details. The FIA just said they broke it by 5%, which is $7 million.
That's a lot of money.
So when you think about it, all the wording I've seen is like you spend $2 million, your car goes 0.2 faster, right?
Yeah.
Which is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but in Formula One, that's
It
everything.
matters. It's yeah.
But more importantly, any money you spend in that year, the development and the learnings can be carried forward to the following year.
Yes.
So it's just a rollover effect,
Mhm.
right? Now, they haven't outlined how exactly they broke the cost cap, which is why you're seeing a lot of memes, like Red Bull's catering costs have just been extraordinary. That's
Dude,
why
you gotta get
it's
the primo cheese.
like it's like how to build a sandwich by Red Bull, and
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous. Anyways, they broke it, and everyone is up in arms over how they should be punished, because technically 5% falls within the category of a minor breach,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of people are just like, cheating is cheating. You broke it.
Yeah, and like you said, the rollover effect of like now they have technically a 5% lead
Yeah.
on the rest of the competition in years
Yeah.
going forward.
Yeah.
And if they just can eat the fine, why wouldn't they just keep breaking it?
So, and that's the big thing. If it's just a fine, then other teams will be like, if that's the case, why don't we just all
Yeah,
break
like
it?
I don't give a fuck, right? I'm gonna go double.
So what's really curious is how they're going to be punished, because I think that'll be said, that sets the precedent if people will break it. And there's a lot of quotes going back to 2019, 2020, when FIA would be like, if you so much as go over like a penny over, you're going to lose your world championship. And as you know, Max Verstappen won last year.
Yep.
So the big, shadow or the big cloud around Formula One right now is Max Verstappen going to lose his world championship from last year?
So the thing with that punishment
Yeah,
is that it does affect Red Bull,
yeah,
for sure,
but
right?
it affects the driver more.
But it affects the driver much more, and that's very much like
That's draconian.
yeah, the child being punished for the sins of the father, right? I could see it as so because he had already won it, you leave that alone, right? But going,
but you remember the controversy last year of how he won it, right?
well, he deserved it.
Okay.
He won it fair and square. I don't know what to tell you. But the thing is like I could see a future looking punishment being
That's what I think is probably
Yeah.
more reasonable.
like if you went over X amount of dollars or X amount of percent, and you're gonna start like a points deficit. Your first couple of races, you're automatically in the back of the pack. Fuck you. Like something performance wise that it's gonna really suffer, or even like you went 5% over, your cap is now 5% less.
Yeah. So like the idea is like one, I think it's you pay the fine that's equivalent to what you spent, but then you also get penalized like the actual right.
I think that's fair.
No one knows what's gonna happen, so that's like kind of like now. So spoilers: the Formula One championship is wrapped up. Max Verstappen won his second title.
Mm-hmm.
Red Bull's probably gonna win it this weekend in Austin. But like what everyone's really more focused on now is will they be punished for?
If they take away this world championship,
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that as being fine.
It depends how you look at it, because what a lot of other people are arguing is the extra money they spent last year is like they could have put it on their car to become competitive to win.
But
last year.
but nobody last year. I assume nobody was following it last year, right? Because it was just for funsies.
No, last year they
sounded
were following
like-
it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then yeah, fuck them.
Yeah. It was the year before 2020.
And where it was like we're
A
gonna
mock version, like a rehearsal.
and then the other. So I thought that the next one, 2021.
That was the first year they had
the
it.
rules, but they weren't gonna like penalize anybody for going over. Like it wasn't very serious. It didn't sound like.
No. It was very serious. It's just that accounting takes so long. They're only able to analyze
Okay.
the year after,
Okay.
which is now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much the driver has say in those kinds of decisions to take away that personally. Is there a way to like? Did they win Constructor Cup
No.
that year? Ooh,
No, they
Yeah.
didn't. So, but that's a thing, right? Like, because I think the argument is they have to give him a penalty that really hurts,
yes,
right? Because otherwise,
it means nothing.
It means nothing. But the only thing they can do is penalize essentially the driver at this point, right? Like they could press it forward, but they've already won this year's championship.
Dude, what if they just bar them from winning the Constructors Cup next year, no matter how good they do? What if they just said you cannot qualify? Period.
Maybe yeah.
That seems a little harsh.
That's
but...
a little harsh. I think that happened to McLaren in 2007.
Oh, really?
They got caught with they had Ferrari's blueprints.
Oh shit! Hell yeah!
It was huge, and the fucked up thing is one of the McLaren drivers leaked it. The McLaren driver leaked the fact that his team had the Ferrari documents.
Listen, if you want to play fair and square, you gotta.
No, it wasn't that. It was Fernando Alonso, and his teammate that year was a rookie Lewis Hamilton who was beating him.
Oh, and so
and so he fucked over the whole team.
What a little bitch.
Yeah, and so for that year, they decided McLaren is disqualified, but the drivers can keep all their points.
Interesting. Okay.
Neither of them won the championship. Kimi won.
Dude, yeah, because he's the best.
Yeah, because the other two just kept fucking with each other.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know what Kimi would do in that situation?
Take a shit.
He'd be like, I don't fucking care. And he'd just keep driving. God damn, I miss him already. He should be an announcer.
I think he's going into like IndyCar or
Really? He's going down a league?
Well, he's not going to Formula One.
It's
either Indy or NASCAR. I don't know what he's doing.
He's not going to Formula E?
No, he's going somewhere in America where he could drink beer and drive cars.
Hell yeah, brother. NASCAR is where to go. I'll start watching NASCAR again if fucking if Kimi goes.
Yeah, so that sounds interesting. Yeah, those are all my picks this week.
All right, those are pretty good. I got a bunch of announcements in video games. Resident Evil 4
I've heard of this.
Or Resident Evil in general had a Resident Evil showcase.
What did they showcase?
They showcased everything they already announced, but in more detail.
Oh.
So they showed off gameplay of Resident Evil 4. All third person, obviously. This game's looking real nice, very smooth. You can see some ideas that are crossing over from the Resident Evil 2 remake, especially in terms of the knife Just like someone latches onto you, you can just knife them and then maybe go collect it later.
Yeah.
Enemies are much more, I guess they work much more in a team. So villagers will grab you and then set you up to get hit by other villagers and stuff that you have to break free.
Oh, did they not grab you in the original?
Not like the one where he was like, he put him in like a fucking full Nelson and was like, go hit him now. Because they would grab you in the other ones, but then you were kind of locked just between you and that guy, right?
Oh, okay.
And you were kind of immune from damage from anybody else who was doing anything while you were locked in there. They brought back the merchant. They're modernizing some of the controls. They added like a parry that you can do with Leon. Like some guy came at him with the pitchfork and he just like knifed that shit out of the way like it was Sekiro.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks pretty exciting. They have a little special edition that you can get with Leon S. Kennedy statue with a shotgun.
You sure can.
You can if you want to. Pre-orders start now, and I forget when the launch date is supposed to be, or even if they announced one. So
are you buying special edition or what?
probably not. I'm not a big fan of statues. I think you are the person who got me off of that train.
Yes.
Yeah, after when you're in your toy phase.
Yeah.
And
I still am in my toy phase.
yeah, but you're not deep into it like you
Bro,
used to be.
playing with a Transformer right now.
You are. It's true. But like, how many Transformers have you bought this month?
One.
See? Casual. Absolutely. The Vince I knew, it'd be like 2 a week.
But you know what? It's because everyone else beat me to it.
Why?
Because I've been trying to get 2 cars to complete my combiner.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you can see it, but up there on my there's some closed boxes on the
Oh,
very far shelf.
yes.
It's a big truck and it's a yellow sports
I think you showed
car.
me those before, yeah.
Yeah, they're combiners, and I'm missing 3 cars. And
Okay.
there was 2 available. The other 2 pieces couldn't find them.
God damn.
Someone kept buying them before.
Bet it was Rex.
Best.
Motherfucker. Yeah. But that looks pretty good. And then on top of that, they showed off more of the Resident Evil Village Gold Edition stuff. So the Rose stuff is the storyline is going to be about her trying to get rid of her powers. Because if you played Village, she has powers for reasons. And the third person stuff in both the base game, which they're going to add retroactively into that, and in the expansion, look really nice. I think it's a good feel. The game, the directors are definitely right. If you can't play a game in first person mode because you get motion sick, like I understand, but the game is definitely less scary in a third person mode. When you're not like the one being attacked, it's more like the game character is being attacked. Like you have that degree of separation in the screen. I do think it kind of ruins certain stuff.
I mean, like, do you really believe that?
Because
I would argue the other game that we're going to talk about is scarier.
Yeah,
But it does.
but it's a different type of scary,
Okay.
right? So where Resident Evil 4 is very classic horror movie scary, where it's just like, oh, jump scare, oh, zombies, oh, monster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like having that happen in first person, I do think matters.
Okay.
Especially after playing 7, which does that shit very well.
Yeah.
But the other announcements, like you mentioned, is that Konami's back in the game.
Oh boy, are they ever.
Yeah, because they were like, hey, we couldn't sell our pachinko games because of COVID, and we need a revenue stream. So here's a bunch of Silent Hill stuff. So Silent Hill is back in the picture, and Konami is going in hard with, I believe, four or five different Silent Hill properties. One I didn't cover, I just read about just before we started, was a movie. So they're going to make a Silent Hill movie.
There's a movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the other things they're doing is, one is Silent Hill's Townfall. This is, I assume, is a game. It's going to be published by Annapurna, the indie developers behind your favorite games, such as Watam from the Katamari Damacy
Bro.
thing.
They really just...
Donut County.
Man, Konami really just let any fucking idiots make games now. Like, jeez, I guess they really couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I
They're
guess.
like,
Goddamn.
let's open the doors. Let's let anybody make their
let's
shit.
just let Annapurna do
Yeah,
something.
Holy fuck.
Not even Devolver Digital. Just
I don't even know how to think about this announcement. Like, what?
Yeah, and so this is because of the games that they mentioned, like Untold Stories and I forget the other one, but it seems like it's going more towards the not so much visual novel, like you're not reading paragraphs of text on a screen, but that style of game, like more laid back, more story focused. Maybe even like those live action, like a Her Story type stuff. I don't know. But they don't. It's just a teaser. It's like of a beach and a radio, and there's not too much there.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Why not? I mean,
Sure. They need the cash. The next one is a interactive Netflix show, I believe. Silent Hill Ascension.
damn. They're just really going like they're just like throwing it all the darts at the board.
Yeah.
Huh?
So if you remember, what was it, Bandersnatch or whatever the fuck that thing was called on Netflix?
Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch, where you would play the movie. They're doing that, but with Silent Hill. And again, they showed a monster and some teens texting. One guy's name was Hype Beast.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'll be his friend.
So there was that. But those were kind of the two boring ones. The two exciting ones is that the rumors were true. Bloober Team is making the Silent Hill 2 remake. Bloober Team.
Okay.
It's a nice looking Silent Hill 2.
It looks great.
It's all cinematic. There's no gameplay. They show off all of like the very I guess iconic scenes in the game. And those look good, but it's hard to fuck up cutscenes. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't understand the gameplay.
mhm.
I don't. So I it's hard for me to judge this. Also, I know it is an adventure horror thriller, so it just might be the most excitable walking simulator.
Yeah, so for that's where I'm going to come into the third person thing, where
Yeah.
if people haven't ever played a Silent Hill game, Silent Hill is more psychological horror than it is like spooky horror.
Yes.
Everything is very somber until it's not, until it is again. and,
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And they really you really have to be immersed within the story and be paying attention because all the scares come from like horrific revelations that the player will come to as you progress through the game. It's a different type of horror.
Sure is.
But they did get some original creators, or they got the art director Masahiro Ito back on the team, and they got Akira Yamaoka back to do the soundtrack for the remaster as well. And both of those are huge pulls, especially with a bad rep that Konami has after the whole we are publicly shaming our employees over the PA system and we're just going to fire Kojima because fuck that guy and we're not going to give him a reason.
Yeah, I feel it.
So we'll see how that goes. I would like a remaster of Silent Hill 2 because right now the only way you can play it, I think the most current gen that you can play it on for a console is the PS3. And that is with the Silent Hill Essentials collection that is noticeably dog shit. Like
They released a collection of.
I think it was 2 and 3 on PS3 and Xbox 360.
Okay.
And it was noticeably bad because like they just ported it badly. And so in Silent Hill, like the fog plays a big thing, right? Like you hear something in the foreground of the street, but you can't see it. Like the fog in the remakes are so shit that you can just see it. Like it takes away any mystery, any stuff like that. So I think the best ways to play that game are like if you have the greatest hits version of the PS2 copy, because that has like updated graphics and stuff, or the original Xbox version. And those are like the only ways to play those right now.
Wait, remind me, did they remake Silent Hill?
The original, they remade that on the Wii. And that was and the PSP. It was a Shattered Memories, the girl on the swing.
Oh, yes.
But they completely changed the gameplay of that one because you had to like run through like apartment building rooms to get away from stuff. It wasn't like a traditional Silent Hill game. They totally changed that, so it's not the original experience.
Yeah, because it kind of took me for a spin when I saw Silent Hill 2. And I was searching my brain thinking like, was there a 1 that was remade? But I guess sure.
No, I think Silent Hill 2 is the Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Now, if they make Silent Hill 4 again, hell yeah, that game slaps.
Nah.
That shit's spooky. But yeah, that's coming out. But the newest one is Silent Hill F. This also has a teaser trailer, but this Silent Hill game is being made by a Taiwan-based developer, Neoboards Entertainment. They mostly do remakes and remasters. So they did the next gen versions of Resident Evil 7 and 8. They did Resident Evil Resistance, that asymmetrical multiplayer game. I believe they also did the Onimusha remaster on PS4, like way back in like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
But now they get to make their own shit, and they're making a Silent Hill games in, I think it's like 1700s Japan. Oh wait, wow, I went way too far. I think it was just that era, 1960s Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, I went way too far. But it's being written by this guy Ryushiki07, who is apparently very famous in Japan for his horror visual novels. And they got a lot of like kind of niche indie doujin type people to work on this, and so that kind of sounds pretty exciting, to be honest. I'd like to see just like what the new blood could do with a Silent Hill storyboard.
Yeah.
Especially like new horror games coming out of Japan, they're kind of spooky, like the Corpse Party stuff. What's that? Oh, what was that other one? I forget. But yeah, there's some stuff coming out of Japan horror wise in the indie scene that seems pretty cool. So
I think it's just really interesting that they're doubling down on Silent Hill this hard.
yeah, I don't think they have anything else.
I guess so. What about Metal Gear?
Well, they tried to make was it Metal Gear Revive? Where they used the 5 engine to make that zombie game.
Yeah.
And that was shit.
No.
And then they spent all their money remaking 2 and 3 into pachinko assets. So
That's good.
I don't know what's going on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Konami seems in like a weird case. Like I can totally imagine them releasing this like series of Silent Hill content, and then just going back to gambling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Maybe this was just like something they needed to develop on because they couldn't do anything during the pandemic. Like I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all the Konami announcements. Did I talk about, what is it? Need for Speed Unbound?
Not this week.
Not yet. So Need for Speed Unbound, you brought up a couple weeks ago, and we're like, holy shit, this trailer looks sick. It's all cell shaded. It looks like Automodelista. There's ASAP Rocky's in there, looking pretty cool.
Sure is.
So it turns out that trailer, a little bit of smoke and mirrors. So the Need for Speed game it's going to be 3D, real looking open world Need for Speed.
Yep.
So that cell shaded stuff isn't the whole game, because the cell shaded stuff is actually going to be effects that you can equip to your car.
Cool.
So if you want cell shaded tire smoke when you burn out,
you
can equip that as an effect.
Nice.
If you want to boost and have the Akira anime tail lights, you can equip that and do that.
Okay.
If you want to jump off a ramp and get graffiti wings as you're in the air,
I mean, sure,
you can equip that too. And that's where all that style. And I think the drivers are still all
the drivers are hella anime.
cartoon. Yeah. The drivers are all anime cartoon.
It's kind of weird, but cool.
But yeah, it's not as prevalent as we originally thought it was. But it does look like a Need for Speed game. It looks very smooth. Cars look nice. There's not much to say about car games usually visually. It's just, is the lighting good?
Yeah.
And how many polys are in the car?
Yeah.
That's about it. What does it look like in the rain at night?
Yeah. Good.
Looks like a Need for Speed game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably play it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the last two big announcements, one was Final Fantasy 16 just dropped a new trailer, the Ambition trailer.
Yeah.
It shows off more of the story, in that there's 4 kingdoms, 4 houses.
Houses, my friend.
Yeah.
Houses.
They all have prime crystals.
Sure do.
But because they're like super special, they're all different elements and stuff. And like, I think you described it best, is that it's looking like some Game of Thrones shit.
It is. Like, it looks like the Final Fantasy team was watching Game of Thrones and were like, we need to make this.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, we need to
Bring
this.
it back to Ivalice.
It's so weird not seeing like a Bishonen lead
right
in this game.
Well, we don't know. There was that one guy in the hood.
Listen. He's not pretty.
And then we don't know if the kid's gonna have a time skip.
He'll be ugly.
All right, yeah, he'll get like, because he'll get burn marks from when he transforms.
Yeah. Like, even the girls, as pretty as they are, they're not like
supermodels.
They're not supermodels, and they're not half naked.
Yeah, this is like a very serious looking kind of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
There's no like chainmail bikini.
Yeah.
Right. It's all like peasant wear, full dress up to the neck.
Yeah, because like one
stuff.
of your first impressions of Final Fantasy 15 was you meet Sydney, and that girl
Dude, she was dressed for the
out
summer.
of this world.
She was dressed for the summer. God
Like,
damn.
man, she said, I'm gonna be working on Pop the Hood. Let me work on
Yeah.
that. And you're like, oh damn.
Get the oil on my skin.
Oh no. But this game doesn't look anything like that.
Yeah, they're like kicking ladies into mud and shit.
Yeah, they're
like,
decapitating people.
yeah, in front
like,
of like kids and children.
oh, looks good.
I'm kind of into it.
I'm digging it.
Yeah, and that section of Final Fantasy, as you know, is my favorite. Like the Evilly style,
Yeah.
desert town, kingdoms,
Yeah,
political intrigue
nice.
stuff. I like that stuff. I just
Nice.
am bad at the SRPG games.
God damn.
I know I would love the story for War of the Lions if I
You
could.
probably would.
If I could beat that game.
It's so easy.
It's not. It's hard.
Oh my god.
But the gameplay, they showed off some gameplay.
Does not look like Final Fantasy.
It looks like the Devil May Cry guy got his hands in there, which he did. The combat designer for Devil May Cry 5 is the combat designer for this game, and it doesn't look like as complicated as a Devil May Cry. Obviously,
Absolutely not. It looks
Yeah.
like a God of War level
Right.
complex.
But for Final Fantasy, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was looking at the button commands, and it looks like, yeah, you have like your attack is just a generic attack, and then you have like, I think they mapped a couple magic moves.
Yeah, some magic moves, some like special attacks
Yeah.
where he like turns into a fucking saw blade and just spins at a
I'm
dude.
sure that the shoulder buttons create like a secondary
Mm-hmm.
map layer. I don't know.
You're doing air dashes and stuff. It's looking kind of nut. And then I like the way that they set up some of the boss battles where you have like dueling life bars, like it's a fucking fighting game,
Oh yeah.
right? At the top of the screen. And this looks good. This looks real good.
It does look good.
But also got delayed. So summer 2023 is the
Yeah.
release date for that.
Jeez.
I
I think its original announcement release was this holiday.
yeah, it's supposed to be this holiday.
And then we moved to March.
Yeah.
Now it's summer.
Now it's summer.
So next holiday, Final Fantasy.
Yeah, probably
16.
whenever we get out of the recession. So we'll
Yes.
see. And then I think the biggest thing in the video game sphere was some drama
Drama.
that happened over Bayonetta 3.
Oh, I'm supposed to boycott this game.
Yeah, you're supposed to boycott it,
Okay,
right? You're supposed to
yeah.
make a snap judgment without having any facts whatsoever.
Hell yeah.
So maybe around Tuesday last week, around the 15th, yeah, like 5 days ago, the Bayonetta voice actor, her name is Helena Taylor. She has been Bayonetta since 1. She is not in Bayonetta 3. She is
No.
not, because it is Jennifer Hale, the world-renowned voice actor extraordinaire.
Yes.
And Helena Taylor came up with a video on Twitter. It was like a 3-parter. And she said that she wants fans to boycott Bayonetta 3. Because the reason that she is not in the game is that the studio, Platinum Games, the company, they offered her $4,000 to do the entirety of Bayonetta 3. And in voice acting terms, that's dog shit. That's really bad. And so this video came out, and Twitter blew the fuck up. They were constantly shitting on Platinum Games. So many memes came out about Bayonetta. And who took the brunt of it was actually Hideki Kamiya, because he is known for being a total asshole on Twitter. And he has like a list of rules pinned to his account where it's like, if you respond to me in English, you're banned. If you ask me a question that has already been asked at some point in my whole Twitter history, you're banned.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's draconian.
If you're having a conversation about some like a thread underneath my thing and you don't untag me in it, you're banned.
Oh, you subtweet.
Yeah, if you're not even just subtweeting, like you know how you say someone responds to you and I respond to the person who responded to you. If I don't untag you as the post maker to have this conversation with this one guy,
Yeah.
you're banned. And he has a bunch of stuff like that.
Okay.
And what happened to him actually was because of all the negative press and all the negative fan stuff that was happening, he was banning so many people that his account got suspended because Twitter thought it was a bot.
Nice.
He was on a banning spree. And so that lasted for quite a while until a couple days later on the 18th. Video Games Chronicles and Bloomberg, they had some sources that were close to this whole thing that it turns out it might not be true, what Helena said. So what they were saying is that Platinum sought to hire Taylor for 5 sessions, which some people suggest could be as few as an hour, with each session paying $3,000 to $4,000 per hour. Okay. And so her fee wouldn't have been $4,000. It would have been like $15,000 for like 4 or 5 days of work. And this actually falls in line with like the voice acting guild and like the union and stuff. So it turns out they might not have been breaking any rules. These are all unconfirmed rumors, though. These are all from anonymous sources that VGC and Bloomberg have gathered.
Rumors from Kamiya himself.
Exactly. From the crew. And then also, according to Bloomberg, it turns out that Taylor might have asked for a 6-figure sum plus residuals on the game for her to voice act.
Hell yeah, why not?
Why not ask, right? And the reason that she's not in the game is because they wouldn't give it to her, and then she's just said no. And then now she's mad that they got Jennifer Hale to do it.
Interesting.
It is very interesting. Video Game Chronicles reached out to Taylor, and she said that the fact that she was offered more than $4,000 was, quote, categorically untrue, end quote. And she also claims that she could have earned $15,000 as, quote, an absolute lie and a complete joke. And she also goes on to mention, she's like, I'd quite like to put this in the rearview mirror and leave the whole bloody franchise behind. I think I'll let my videos stand. I spoke the truth. End.
Okay.
This also brought up some naysayers and some doubters.
Yes.
Because this type of tactic recently just happened in the chess world.
Bro's suing, though.
He's suing for like $100 million.
And he's suing everyone.
Chess.com. He's suing the other guy.
Holy.
He's living the lie, baby. But people are saying that like this is exactly what the guy in the chess scandal did. He wouldn't take any interviews. When he was pressed on any further information, he would just be like, the chess speaks for itself, and then he'd walk away. And people are now saying that like it could be that Taylor had taken the whole internet for a loop.
Could be. Could be.
I know that defamation laws in Japan are very serious. You do not need to do almost anything. You can just like, you can say, I think it was like you could say the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But if it puts the company in a bad light, it counts as defamation and you can sue.
And you're screwed.
And you're fucked.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works cross borders.
Yep.
But if it is true, Platinum probably has a case for international defamation. I don't know. And it is important to note too that Jennifer Hale did release a statement, but she couldn't really say anything of like substance because she was under NDA.
Yeah, like what is she gonna say?
Yeah, it's like anyone who's followed my career knows that I have great respect for my. It was a bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like all the actors who work with me should get paid. It was like thanks, tips.
Yeah.
Whatever. But that was a whole fucking wild ride.
Yeah.
It's another thing where mob culture fucking sucks. Like, I understand this person came out, but you don't know the half of it. And like how my Twitter was just fucking bombarded with like, dude, just Platinum Games are fucking Nazis, baby. Like, they're not going to pay women. They hate women. And it's just like, bro, relax.
Listen, what has Platinum put out this generation that's been good?
Dude, Babylon's Fall. It's good that they cut it off.
No, yeah, so yeah, I saw this. I mean, yeah, there's her story, there's Platinum's story, and then there's the truth, which we'll never know.
What's the Edgar Allan Poe quote? It's believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, like, it's hard to take this story like in either direction, but the one takeaway you can have is that her video that she put out at the end of the day is definitely what gets most attention. It doesn't matter what other stories came out, fact or fiction, damage is done, right? Yeah.
So that's really interesting too, because I think it was recently, there was it's like a cookie store or like in the States or like some bakery shop.
Okay.
They've been open in this town since like the 1800s.
Yeah.
And what happened was one of the owner's sons caught these students stealing. And so he called them out, was like, hey, you're stealing. I'm going to call the cops on you and blah, blah, blah. And what happened was that a bunch of people at the school were like, oh, he's just saying this because they're black. They're just racially profiling these kids. And they got the a bunch of students in the school to protest outside the store. The school themselves actually would like send out flyers to the town being like, this store's racist and all this shit.
Wow.
And then it turned out
They were stealing.
they stole and they sued the college, and I think they just got like a $25 million payout or some shit.
Yeah.
Right. So like this stuff is like super irresponsible. Like you really got to be careful with this kind of shit. And that's not to say that like victims shouldn't come out about whatever they're being victimized over. Right. But you can't just shoot it out into ether like you're nothing, especially when the stakes are so high.
Watch.
Watch me do it, bitch. I really do think we're coming to like a turning point in terms of like call out culture on the internet of just people being like, I said they did this, and then some guy's like, they did do it. I believe you 100%. I'm not going to follow it up at all with any research at all.
Why would I?
I just read the headline. I'm a general consumer.
I genuinely believe every human is truthful. So I will believe you when you say
news for you.
I believe everything I read on the internet.
That's crazy.
So we boycott Bayonetta or what?
Hell yeah. Actually, I canceled my pre-order. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take my pre-order and then YouTube myself pissing on the box.
Wow.
And set it on fire.
Nice.
Yeah, I think even if this was true, I probably wasn't going to boycott it. So I don't know what to tell you.
It is true. I'm going to boycott it.
But those are my game picks. Actually, you know what? I got a just a general read. I thought that this article, this is not gaming related, this is not entertainment related at all.
Sex related.
It's not sex related. Okay.
Well, then what are we talking about it for?
We're talking about eyeballs.
Okay.
It's eyeball related.
All right.
The BBC had a very interesting article about it was called "Why Short-Sightedness is on the Rise."
Ooh.
And it's this interesting thing where apparently in Singapore they have you know what myopia is?
Sounds familiar.
It's like a deterioration of the retina. And it's that you don't get a very well formed retina, so you get short-sightedness. They have a myopia rate of 80% in young adults.
Fall into this category.
So I get laser, baby. And it's talking about how as the world gets more educated, gets richer, and becomes more convenient, people are becoming more and more blind. And there's actually a direct correlation on the importance a country puts on education and the rate of myopia in young children and adults. I thought it was just a very interesting article.
So you're saying the more focus we have on going to school and being educated,
Yes.
the greater the physical myopia of the eye becomes.
Yes, because you're spending more time indoors.
Wow.
You're spending more time in screens. You're spending more time reading books. You're focusing on
I
things
don't
that-
understand this, Anthony.
Why?
I do not read. When I was a kid, I had no screens.
Dude, you were reading video games.
Dude, I was on my bike. I was at the park. I still got short-sightedness. What happened?
So there is, if your family has,
I fucking rolled the dice. And
I know, right? if your family has a history of myopia and short-sightedness, there is a chance, but apparently that is very rare.
Yeah.
So you might have rolled the dice on a bad roll,
Probably.
right? But the one big thing that scientists are trying to study now is actually the difference between outdoor light and indoor light.
Fake light and real light?
Yeah, and they're saying that just the fact that all these indoor areas, they're getting more isolated, less windows, more unnatural light like fluorescent, LED, whatever.
Yeah.
That type of unnatural light alone can cause myopia in developing people.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that.
But they don't know why the light is different when you get it from the sun as opposed to when you get it from a light bulb.
I don't know.
So I thought that was a very interesting article. I would recommend everybody read it. It's called "Why Short-Sightedness is on the Rise."
Sounds pretty cool.
Very, very cool. But yeah, 80% in Singapore.
It has nothing to do with, smog and pollution of that country.
Well, is Singapore smoggy? I thought that was like mainland China stuff.
You're right.
Like Beijing.
You're right. I don't know. Maybe it's the humidity. Southeast Asia,
Maybe.
Your eyeballs are too wet.
Then what's going on in the Philippines? They're all good.
Are they?
I don't know. I don't
They don't have enough money to test if they know.
True.
Jeez.
Dude, keep your citizens poor. Nothing can go wrong.
Exactly. Keep them uneducated. They don't know that they should be complaining.
And then they won't have sight problems.
Absolutely.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Yeah.
Cool. Anyways, we got a question to chew on.
Hell yeah.
Paul Chumis writes in. Well, yes.
Well, comma.
We are approaching Halloween again this year.
Dude, what are you talking about? I'm already approaching Christmas. I got the Christmas music going.
Stop.
Hell yeah, brother.
You're dressed like it's the autumn season. What are you talking
Dude.
about? You're not dressed.
I'm
like
dressed
it's
like this in the winter.
No, you don't.
I do.
You literally look like a Canadian ready to cut down trees in the
Dude,
fall.
I wore my fucking jean jacket today.
That's fall attire. No one wears a jean jacket during Christmas.
I do.
No. You're wearing a Canada Goose.
I don't have Canada Goose. I can't
Bro.
afford a Canada Goose.
Then get the moose knuckle.
I can't. That's even more expensive.
North Face?
Maybe.
All right, there you go. Patagonia. Arc'teryx.
Oh, Arc'teryx. Now we're talking.
I wish I could afford one of those. Anyways, he writes, I know that for most of the world, Halloween isn't quite as celebrated as it is here in the United States. I don't know why it's such a big deal here either. But for you guys specifically, do you enjoy Halloween? What's your favorite Halloween candy? When you guys hand out candy, do you give out the good stuff or do you give out the garbage candy? And finally, what are your predictions as to what will be the big Halloween costume this year? Every year, there's at least 1 or 2 costumes that seemingly pop up everywhere. What are the big ones this year? My guess is Eddie from Stranger Things.
That might be a good one.
All right, let's tackle these questions one at a time. Do you enjoy Halloween?
I do. I enjoy the atmosphere of Halloween more so than like, we're going to go to a Halloween party. I got pumpkin drinks. Yay. I like going outside, seeing all the decorations. Everything's kind of like fake spooky. And especially just like the kind of the mischievous things kids get up to. Like when you see them on the street, they're like, it's Halloween, babe. We're going to get some candy. We're going to do some shit. And it's like, okay, that's cool. I remember being like that. And I get like this wave of nostalgia, especially when like your parents let you go out for Halloween by yourself for the first time.
Mm-hmm,
And you're like, oh, sick. Like we got our pillowcase. We're ready to go, baby.
Yeah.
Right. I do enjoy that. I think now it is more of a nostalgia hit than anything.
Yeah. I think I'm similar to you. So yeah, I love this time of year, and especially here in Canada, Halloween falls just after our Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is all themed around the combination of both. And yeah, I do love just the aesthetic of Halloween and whatnot. The atmosphere, like you said. When I was younger, I did like going to like clubs and parties. In fact, I wouldn't mind going to a party now. It's just I don't.
Yeah.
But
Do you even know anybody who would?
yeah, like I
have a
don't
Halloween
know
party?
who would have a Halloween party.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're right. It's a lot of it is nostalgia. Like this is the time of year when you go back to school and like it's a startup, and Halloween is like the first major event you and your friends go and do for the year that year. Here in Canada, like I remember going to Canada's Wonderland for the first time with my friends doing screamers.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's a whole bunch of like haunted houses and items you can do. Yeah, I love Halloween because like it's cold. Well, not so super cold, but it's cold enough that you can bundle up.
Yeah.
You get some cool costumes.
On like a good Halloween night when you get like
Yeah.
the leaves are falling off in a wind and it's like
I think Halloween is great. I love it. Like I would go as far as to say is thematically when I look around and when I think about which event I like being part of the most, it's usually Halloween, even though it's the one I probably participate in the least.
True.
But I do love the Halloween.
You getting your PSLs?
Actually, that's the one part I don't like.
You're not getting the pumpkin spice?
No, I've always hated pumpkin spice.
Is pumpkin spice on the out? I feel like there's less hype around pumpkin spice.
I don't know. Maybe you're just with all of us in COVID. No one knows how to make pumpkin spice at home, so you just haven't heard of it. I've always been more of an apple cider guy.
Yeah.
Like that's what
maybe if they made
hot
like
cider with
like,
a cinnamon stick.
like a pumpkin spice like San Pellegrino. And maybe
We'll fucking slap the beard off your face.
Dude, what?
Ah,
Bro, what? Sparkling water. Let's
Get
go.
out of here. If you're listening to this and you have a soda stream, we cannot be friends.
Dude, I got one. It's too late, baby. You got it one.
All right, what's your favorite Halloween candy?
That's a toughie.
Now, let's limit this to like candy you probably only ever get at Halloween.
That I only got a Halloween.
Because I could easily throw out chocolate bars, but at the same time, I get that all the time. But like, what's a Halloween item you feel like you only ever get at this time of year that you love?
You know what? I'd have to think about that.
Okay.
If you do you have one? Can you go first?
I
And can
do.
just-
So I think Halloween is like the one time a year that you can get like lollipops.
Yeah.
There's one that's like a caramel apple that I really enjoy. It has like a green wrapper.
Okay.
It's like on the outside it's like a sour green apple candy, and the
Mhm.
inside's a caramel filling, kind of like a Tootsie Pop.
Okay.
Actually, Tootsie Pops are also good. I like those too.
Those are good. Tootsie Rolls are pretty up there.
No pop. I didn't say
No.
roll.
Oh, I said roll.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I just assumed that you picked the right one, but you didn't.
This come from the man with sparkling water.
Dude, sparkling water's sick.
All right.
Ask any powerful man. He's drinking sparkling water. All right.
No.
And listen, everybody knows that I love the status quo. All right.
God damn.
And if the status quo likes sparkling water, I love it too.
Yeah. What's your favorite candy?
You know what? I think the one I only get in Halloween, Nerds.
Really?
Like the buying a regular pack of Nerds is too much. There's too
Okay.
many Nerds in there.
Okay.
But just
Oh,
like
the mini.
the mini packs, like that's just enough
Oh.
Nerd for me to like it.
Okay.
I know the one I hate the most is what's that like? It's that chocolate ball.
Chocolate ball.
It's got like the cookie inside kind of thing.
Ferrero Rocher?
No, not Ferrero Rocher. Fucking slaps.
I was gonna say, like, how are you gonna?
No,
How are you gonna do that to my friend
Rocher.
Ferrero?
What's it called?
A chocolate ball with a cookie on the
It's
inside?
like a chocolate ball.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
God damn.
Maltesers.
Maltesers. Fuck Maltesers.
Oh.
Maltesers suck.
Okay.
Anytime I got Maltesers, that shit. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie. I do like Rockets.
Rockets are sick. Rockets are top. They're S tier candy.
I do love the shitty chalk candy.
Yeah, but it's got to be like Rocket brand.
Oh yeah, it can't be
Rocket.
some.
Because Rocket brand is already shitty.
Yeah.
But then when you get like the great value version of Rocket,
Yeah,
it's
then
like
you're
it's
like,
too
"Oh,
shitty.
This is
Yeah,
one step too far.
Airheads,
Oh yeah.
like a mini Airhead. Like I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
want a full Airhead.
I always liked it when I looked through my Halloween bag, and you would get those gummies, but they're in the shape of like a hamburger or a hot dog, and it's all gummified. I like that. But then I'm a huge fan of gummies.
Like Runts, where it's like here's a mini banana.
No, that's hard candy though.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I think this is how I knew I was a hipster from a young
Mhm.
age. One of my favorite candies to get in my Halloween bag, caramel squares and Werther's Originals.
Okay, Werther's, I'll say yeah. That's definitely a, like old
Yeah.
man pick. I think everybody likes caramel squares.
Okay, all right. But you get like a nice.
Who doesn't like caramel squares?
I feel like kids like they would if you offered them a caramel square or something else, they would
Oh,
take.
sorry. You're right. Caramel squares. I
Yeah,
was
just like
thinking
the cube of
Yes,
caramel.
I was thinking caramel that's cut in the square.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I mean like
yeah.
just a cube of caramel. Like,
Okay, yeah,
in the
yeah,
plastic
yeah. That's
wrapper.
an old man
Yeah,
candy. Yeah.
yeah. That's how I knew that I was destined to be cool.
How's that coming?
Not very. My time will come. It'll happen.
Actually, I like the Werther's Originals, but there's one that has like a chocolate filling on the inside. Have you had that one?
Oh yeah, those ones are good.
Those ones are baller.
I like those.
Yeah,
ones.
those
are good.
Those.
But yeah, fuck 100 g bars. Those things suck.
Okay.
Candy.
Candy corn?
I'll have like 2.
Yeah, I'm like 0 on that one.
Yeah.
Like I'm 0.
I'll be like, oh look, candy corn, and then I'll eat it. And I'll be like,
I
oh, candy
like
corn.
Going to a party and seeing the bowl of candy corn, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that
oh,
looks sick.
That looks aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
You
I
want
like
one?
that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I have the same feeling with that and cinnamon hearts around Valentine's.
Oh, I'll eat the shit out of a cinnamon
Hate
heart.
cinnamon
I will eat a
hearts.
bowl of cinnamon hearts.
I see like people eating that. I'm like, don't even come near
Dude,
me.
what?
I don't want to smell your breath.
For what?
Nuh-uh.
It smells delish.
Like when a girl's eating that and then she's coming to talk to me, I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want to talk to you.
Dude.
I don't care how hot you
You gotta
are.
eat a handful of cinnamon hearts, put them in your mouth, and then spit them back out into your hand, and then like rub it as like cologne on your neck.
Stop it. That's disgusting. You sparkling water people are gross.
Dude, this is what happens when you drink San Pellegrino.
Okay. When you guys hand out candy, do you give it the good stuff or do you give it the garbage candy?
When I am the one in charge,
Yes.
if it's like you're handing it out or we're not handing it out, I will buy the good stuff.
Okay.
But our like neighborhood is kind of like an aging neighborhood, so we don't have a lot of kids anymore. The door knocks are pretty sparse. So usually what I'll do is I'll buy a bunch of candy just in case. Like I'll get like the good mini packs, right? You get all the good chocolates and stuff. But if I haven't had a bunch of rings in like 2-3 hours, like the next kid in a costume where they actually tried, I'll just dump the bowl. in their bag, and they're always like, holy shit. Like, I remember one time some fucking teenagers came in and all they had was a mask on, and everything else was like civvies clothes, and they're like, trick or treat. I'm like, you're gonna have to trick me because these costumes, they're not. He's like, what? They're like, yeah, you don't get any candy. And I just didn't give them anything, and they left. And then like this really cute kid, like kindergarten probably, had like the whole fireman outfit going on, and he had like the plastic pumpkin thing. I filled that thing to the brim, and he ran back to his dad. He's like, Dad, I got all the candy. That like put a huge smile on my face. It was great.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of kids, this is a small tangent. I was having this conversation at work. You know how like when young parents actually, they have like their first kid and like, like whatever.
You do all the stuff.
Yeah. And then you see their social media just turns into from them to their kid, and it's just their kid. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to do that. I think if I have a kid, I want to keep them secret. I
think I would do. I don't know about secret, but I definitely would not want my Instagram to turn into like what those parents. Because like, the thing is like if I did post my kid at all, I would try and like hide their face, because I don't think it's really appropriate.
Oh, you're woke. Okay.
To expose them. Is that a woke thing?
Yeah, it's hell.
Oh, I don't really think it's appropriate to like expose a kid when they don't have like any hearsay and like if they want to be online.
Yeah, that's a whole other subject. Yeah. I just want to hide them
from my wife.
No. I just like, then one day I'm at work and it's like,
I brought the kid.
I brought the kid. Oh, really? And like this 18-year-old dude comes in. Yeah. I'm like, that's my son.
I'll bring your kid to work day.
Yeah, that's my son.
You had a kid? Yeah, he's like 10.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, why? I've always had this kid. Anyways, says last question here is, sorry, I didn't answer. I don't hand out candy.
At all?
No, usually on Halloween I'm out, so I don't hand out candy.
You don't just randomly walk up to kids on the street while you're out and be like, hey, kid, here's the candy.
Wow. No,
hey, kid.
I was taught to say no to those people.
Hey, kid, take this apple.
No.
All right, don't check it.
No,
just bite it.
No. And finally, what are your predictions as to be what will be the big Halloween costume this year? Okay, are we talking for adults or are we talking for kids? Because if it's for kids, I got no clue.
No idea. Is it Paw Patrol? Is that still big?
I don't know. If it's for adults, you're a vaccine, baby. Let me get in you.
True. Like sexy vaccine, sexy syringe.
Yeah.
But I hang around a lot of weebs.
Oh.
So what if it's just like a bunch of Anyas?
Dude, it's just Chainsaw Man.
Hell yeah.
It's Chainsaw
Hell yeah.
Man.
Sexy Chainsaw Man.
Half naked Chainsaw Woman?
That'd be pretty cool.
I think I'm down.
Sick.
I'm down.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You're right, though.
But like Anya.
Or
Spy X Family,
yeah.
I can see the Yor Lloyd Forger mix happen like a couple's cosplay.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like all the yours I'm going to see at the club and like having to explain who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
I should do that on purpose.
Oh no.
Like I should. Your costume is really interesting. What is it? And like, it's like a show I like. Or yeah, like where can I watch it? What is it? Just like feign ignorance and just make it as awkward as possible.
Wow.
That's why I'm single.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, wait, hold on. What was the big Marvel movie this year? Thor?
Yeah. Okay. Female Thor? Male Thor?
Could be. Fuck, man. I'd go as a hammer.
God damn. So many jokes. So little time.
Oh, man. It's a hammer. Okay.
All right.
Done. Thanks for writing in, Paul.
Thanks.
So, guess what?
What?
I played Overwatch.
God damn. Do I have to be here for this? Can I leave?
I think about like 15 hours.
This is fucked up. This is what I get for mentioning sparkling water on the podcast.
My battle pass is at level 50. I think last week I said it was 30.
Yeah.
I'm at level 50.
What again?
80.
All right.
It expires December 1st.
Oh, okay.
So there's lots of time.
Okay.
I think they just announced there's a Halloween event coming on the 25th with some skins.
Oh, but did you see the real event?
What?
The McDonald's event?
Oh, yeah.
The Australian McDonald's event?
So, like, there's a lot of things about everything to do with how Blizzard is monetizing this game that I absolutely hate.
Dude, time to fly to Australia.
But the thing is, that's not a new skin. It's from the first game. It's one of her worst skins.
But it's just not available?
Yeah, like
or is it like a McDonald's color scheme?
No, it's literally an old skin from Overwatch 1 because you can't buy old skins anymore, right?
Oh, they're in the vault.
Yeah, so this is how you get this one.
That's brutal.
Like, it's so lame. And I don't know how you're supposed to build hype for skins when the only way you can get them is literally by purchasing them.
Yeah.
right? Like if there's no free way to get this, or like if there's no way that you can work
Oh
towards
yeah,
getting
because you
something,
don't get coins anymore.
yeah, like if there's literally no way to just play to get something. You always have to buy it. It really does suck.
Yeah, so like League of Legends, you mostly have to buy skins, but you can get like loot shards, and like if you have 3 skin
Yeah,
shards,
and eventually
you can get them for free.
yeah,
right?
it takes a long time.
Yeah, because it's all gotcha and whatever.
But at least you have that. Like Overwatch doesn't even have that, and it's so lame. Especially because this season theme is like cyberpunk shit, and so all the skins are like cyberpunk based. Like I have like a half mecha cyber Kiriko skin that's wicked.
All right.
And they just launched new ones in the store, and I'm like, I want them all, but I don't want to pay.
Yeah, the only way I can get them is to buy them.
Yeah. So it is kind of a bummer.
Has it defeated like your collector mentality around that stuff?
Well, if it's for hero, like if I'm still pretty committed to completing like a diva set, but yeah, like I have no interest in like getting everything if there's no free way to get them all.
Yeah, because I remember you were a loot box fiend.
Yeah,
but you also got coins when you got doubles, right? And you could buy stuff you didn't have.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy though because like the community is all just getting like bring back loot boxes.
Yeah,
and it's like really that loot boxes weren't good, but
well, the thing is like I think they can't bring back loot boxes in certain
regions.
Regions. But also if they brought over a system that wasn't strictly worse than loot boxes, I don't think people would have an issue.
Yeah.
So
that's how that works. Otherwise, the game is still very fun to play. I didn't realize the competitive scene had a list of maps that you could only play on. Like I didn't realize there was a map rotation.
Oh.
Like so every season will have different because I've been playing on a lot of the maps, but they're all like I feel like I'm missing a lot of different ones. And I went into the arcade to play different games, and all these other maps are there. And I'm like, oh, I forgot all these existed.
Okay.
And it's just that's how they've limited it. It's kind of weird.
We'll just be lucky you have maps, all right? Because in League of Legends, there is one map, and it's been the same for 10 years.
That blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind that that's how that works. Yeah, but the big news is Kiriko entered competitive, and that's who I'm going with. And it's been good.
I saw some headshot highlights.
Bro.
Saw some of those kunais.
Hella luck.
All right.
She's fun. She definitely does not have the game-winning ability of Ana, though.
True. The stim.
That biotic grenade is deadly.
Oh, that one. Her regular move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that. The fact that you can just get people to not heal.
And then your teammates can double heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is... I don't want to say it's overpowered, but the minute you force them to be unable to heal their tank, it's game over. As long as everybody coordinates it. That said, Kiriko's ultimate is probably far more useful. That thing.
Double speed, double fire rate.
Have you seen the Zenyatta shit?
No.
So Zenyatta goes from like peace is harmony to peace was never an option.
Like, just shooting balls out?
Yeah, he becomes
sick.
a machine gun.
That's awesome.
I think they might have to nerf that because it's wrong how powerful he becomes.
But you gotta use one of your healers as Zenyatta.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's a pretty big downside. It seems like how the meta is going.
It's tough. Yeah, I guess so. Like if your team is self-sustaining, then you can use him. But yeah, as an actual healer, he kind of sucks. But Kiriko's pretty good. I'm dying a lot less just because she has that teleport, so you can just escape, which is good.
And if you're out of the action, you just teleport to somebody.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's been good. Just been playing that. That's my whole life.
Okay.
Still doing the whole do my dailies, do my weeklies.
Trying to sound like an MMO kid.
Trying to be as official as possible.
God damn.
Trying to complete this battle pass.
Okay.
And I'm really hoping that when this Halloween event comes next week, that there'll be free ways to get skins.
We'll see. Oh, we'll see.
I know.
What's it'll be an advent calendar. Just open up your box.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Red Kiriko. The other thing I watched an Asian Disney film called Turning Red.
Oh yes, this was supposed to be released in theaters, but then it was not because of the pandemic. And it was Disney Plus.
Yes.
And this is one that takes place in Toronto.
Yeah, I guess that went right over my head.
Okay,
but yeah, it's 100% in Toronto, but Toronto 2002.
Ooh,
like it's not a modern film.
Yeah.
So the characters don't have cell phones, right? They don't have. Well, maybe they do have cell phones, but they don't have smartphones. Sorry.
Okay. He's got the Nokia bricks.
Kinda. Yeah.
Playing Snake.
And so it centers around a Chinese girl, and her family runs a temple, and she's like a straight A student. She's extracurricular, kind of a dork, but it's something that I've always understood, or not understood, but I have a lot of friends who are in this situation, but I personally have never understood why they continue to act this way. The story revolves around a girl who is like loyal to her family, but it's like every Asian kid, right? Where it's like you're so loyal, but you'll never speak up for yourself, and you'll just do as you're told. And it's one of the...
It's because you white, kid.
Yeah, I know. I know. And a lot of my friends ask me, like, how did you do it? I'm like,
you just do it? Oh.
I'm like, first of all, I'm not Chinese.
That really helps, actually.
Yeah, actually, like, I don't have the...
Have you tried not being Chinese?
Yeah. But yeah. And then it goes into like, you know, it's like she's so loyal to her mom. She just wants to please her mom, right? And the story is her trying to break out into her own independence, but also not disappoint her mom. Turns out her family also is blessed by the red panda, and so when she gets excitable and her emotions get out, she turns into a giant red panda.
Interesting.
Hijinks ensue. Red panda gets her into some issues and whatnot. And yeah, the story from there goes into like her breaking away from her family, but also you understand that it runs in the family. Like it goes into her mom's backstory and how her mom doesn't get along with her mom because she tried to break free for independence. And it's like, it's interesting only because I guess
generational trauma.
Yeah. Like, because I know so many girls like growing up with like friends who have this exact issue, like not issue, but this situation.
Oh, it's an issue.
It's interesting to see that the movie doesn't actually solve it.
It just presents it.
It just it presents it, but like at the end, it does this bullshit thing where it's like, you take the dad, and the dad just says, "Do what you like, kid."
The dad usually.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Like the dad who never talks through the whole movie, and then all of a
says
sudden,
the line at the end that means the most.
Exactly, right? And you're
it's
like,
a man of few words.
Yeah,
he never says "I love you." He just brings me fruit.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
and it's just like, okay, sure, yeah. It was a fun movie, I guess. It wasn't anything spectacular. I should have watched Lightyear. That's what I'm thinking.
Heard that's pretty gay.
I know. I'm in.
That's why I'm in.
It's pretty gay.
We need that shirt. We need those shirts, dude.
But yeah, that was Turning Red. So it was cool.
So it wasn't an allegory for periods?
At the beginning, they think it is.
Okay.
But it's clearly not. Right. I'm sure it makes its way in there somewhere.
Right. Or out there.
Sure.
But I'm Tish.
Yeah, that was my week.
Okay. Well, I'm back on the wagon, kid.
Oh no.
I'm back on the Final Fantasy 14 wagon.
Oh no.
I think I mentioned last week that one of my friends had got me a 60-day sub.
60-day.
For a belated birthday present.
Yeah.
And I've been going in hard into Endwalker. I got through like 2 dungeons. I'm getting through a bunch of story missions per day. I'm doing my dailies. It's bad.
Why is it bad?
It's because it's so good.
Oh gosh.
I really like that game. I wish I played it more. And that's what I am planning on doing. So Endwalker so far
it's the best game
is very edgy, right?
Did you not see that trailer when it came out?
It's pretty crazy.
Dude, Dark Knight? Come on.
The Reaper?
Yeah. Like what?
So yeah, there are some you can really tell that this is the culmination of like this arc of Final Fantasy 14, right? And everything that like came before it is all coming to a head. But there are certain decisions that they have made with the story and certain villains where I'm like,
why
is this person back? They should have stayed dead because they had the perfect ending in that one expansion. And it's hard to like look at this story as like one of the best expansion stories created for the series because they rely so heavily on the content of old, right? And it's one of those things where it's like it's kind of necessary for the story they're telling because it's supposed to be everybody coming together to defeat the grandest evil of them all. But also it doesn't leave a lot in terms of like good original content and ideas. And I don't think they use that old stuff well enough for it to be amazing. I still don't think it's the worst one. I think so far in my expansion ranking list, it would probably be maybe like Heaven's Ward 1, Stormblood 2, Endwalker 3, Shadowbringers 4.
Mm-hmm.
But the content and the actual gameplay, just like Shadowbringers, even though it's my least favorite story-wise, it is one of my most favorite content-wise, because as players keep playing this game, they get more experience playing it, and then the content becomes a little bit more complicated, and they can do more interesting scenarios with like regular dungeons and stuff.
I see.
And yeah, all the like, I think I'm getting to a point now where I think I will not be able to like mow through a new dungeon and not die at least once, because I got to think about the mechanics. I got to look at my surroundings. Whereas like so far I've just been using like my gamer skills to like mow through almost everything in the game that the game has to offer in terms of base content. Once you get to like savage and extreme level stuff, you do gotta like, okay, I gotta look up this guide because it's kind of nuts. But in terms of like base story content, it is actually getting a bit more difficult and a bit more fun because it's not just a breeze anymore.
Okay.
I'm still playing a healer mainly. So I'll play a scholar and it's like the pet healer, has like a lot of shield healing instead of big true healing. And I'll use that for raids. So anytime I got a queue for anything, I switch to healer. And then anytime I do single player content and I got to defeat like just mobs of enemies to do stuff, I'll play a samurai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got the two switching going. It's good. I'm gonna hope to have more next week. I'm still in like, I think about like 40% within the MSQ, the main scenario quests, and maybe if I really rush it, I could probably finish it maybe in 2 weeks.
Wow,
but we'll see.
That's a long time.
Well, I had already. Well, the thing was, whenever I had resub before, when I would resub at a month at a time, I would mainline the story, and it took me the length of the subscription to do it. But because I had gotten through a bunch of it before this sub, hopefully I can get through it a bit easier. And yeah, I'm looking forward to endgame content. I think right now Blaven is in our free company, and he's been taking up crafting. So crafting. So I'm thinking I'm gonna max out my miner and my fisher, and I'll gather materials, throw it in the guild stash. He'll craft it, and then we'll split the revenue on the market board sales.
Oh gosh.
But the main thing, the main goal, I want
to buy a house. What's going on?
Yeah,
here?
try to buy a house. I just want to get rich, you know.
Okay.
But the main thing I want to do, or at least my goal, I think for this is to max out my blue mage, and I want to rope everybody in the FC who has blue mage, to do the blue mage challenge to get the blue mage exclusive mount.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember you talking about this. This is a hard challenge.
Yeah, so you have to have 8 blue mages in a party. You have to run the trials, these 2 missions in Trials of the Bahamut Extreme synced. So you can't take advantage of the fact that it's like level 60 content and bring in a level 90. You have to run it at what
level 60?
The level 60 equivalent would have been. And because blue mage is very freeform, you have to be like, who's going to be the tank blue mage? Who's going to be the healer blue mage?
Yeah, you got to set roles.
Yeah. So you got to set roles and stuff. And if we can get through those, we get a sick Marlboro mount where he just kind of like carries you around. It's pretty cool. So hopefully I can do that, and we'll see. But the main one I've been playing still, Doom Eternal. So I told you last week I beat the game. This week I went into the DLC content, the first one. The Ancient Gods Part 1, and Mamma Mia, this is truly DLC because it's hard. It's really fucking hard.
So are we talking like this is Super Meat Boy level of like you're just bashing your head against the wall till you get it?
No, so that is a different set, which I'll get to later.
Oh, okay.
So this is like it is like the logical conclusion of like after you beat the final level, what would the next step in difficulty be, right? And so you go up a rank pretty much, and they're sending you enemy patterns that are just like they know they're fucked. And so there's like one guy, his name's the Marauder, and throughout the whole main campaign, you only ever fight him one-on-one, because if you don't attack him in between his attack patterns, he will put up a shield that will instantly block whatever. Even if you have the BFG and you shoot like that AoE air thing, he'll just block the whole thing. He doesn't give a fuck. If you don't attack within his patterns, you cannot damage him. And if you attack his shield, he summons like a spirit dog as like a punishment that you have to deal with as well. In this one, they're like, what if you just fought 2 at the same time? And it's fucked. It's so fucked. They added some new stuff. So like there's in the original game, there's these buff totems. So you'll run into an arena and it'll be like buff totem activated. And everybody does like double damage, is like twice as fast. They're super tough. And you have to go find the buff totem. But in this one, it was like, you have to do the arena with the buff totem active because we put the buff totem behind a cage. And the only way to get to this cage is if you beat the area. So that Marauder guy I just told you about, you are forced to fight him buffed, while like fodder enemies are also coming around at you double time.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they added a new enemy type, which is the spirit. And the spirit will possess one of the heavy enemies, so one of the main guys, like a revenant or the spider tank. And he will make them even tougher. Only one guy, though. He'll make them even tougher than the buff totem. And so, like, if I want to... Every enemy usually has, like, a weakness. So, like, the spider tank has, like, a cannon above his head. And you can snipe the cannon off, and it takes off one of his attacks.
Okay.
So now, instead of 1 hit with that, you need 2 sniper hits to take off that cannon. And it's brutal. And then his other thing is that when you kill the enemy that the spirit is possessing, the spirit comes out and will try to possess another enemy within the arena. And what you do is you have the energy, this like plasma rifle basically. Yeah. And it has a sub mode where it shoots a beam of energy. So you have to Ghostbusters beam this thing before it possesses somebody else and makes your life hell. And yeah, the scenarios they put in, they really do feel like scenarios. They're like, we wanted to do this in the base game, but this would have been too crazy. And then apparently after the Ancient Gods Part 1, Ancient Gods Part 2 keeps going on top of that. So it'll get even harder with more stuff. But the thing where I'm like Super Meat Boy levels of difficulty, where you're just bashing your head against something, they have these free DLC levels called Master levels.
That doesn't sound fun.
And the Master levels are remixed versions of campaign missions made to be extremely fucked.
Oh, so is this like Halo Legendary Skulls on?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right.
And so how these missions roll out is that there are like certain mechanics within the game that are very sparsely used. So like there's like one area in the game or one level in the game where there's like pink sludge on the ground. And when you're in the pink sludge, you cannot dash. You can only walk. You cannot jump. You're just kind of stuck in it. Right. And they only use it as like if you fail the jumping puzzle, you have to start back at the beginning because you're in the sludge.
Yeah.
Right. But in like the Master level, they'll put you in like a very tight corridor, lock both doors behind you, fill the floor with pink sludge, and then spawn 2 heavy charging enemies on either side of you. And then be like, deal with it, motherfucker. Like you have the mechanics to use it, like in terms of your grenades and stuff, but how fast are you? How fast can you do this?
Yeah.
And they're all skill tests. There's another one where it's like fog will enter the arena and you can only see like a little bit in front of you, and then enemies will shoot you from out of thing. And they'll put the fog down in like this big ass arena, and they'll put like the 2 like heaviest guys that are just before being a boss. And they're just somewhere shooting you through walls and like doing some bullshit. It's they are extremely fucked. They are the challenge levels, and they are for people who have mastered the movement in that game. Because as you get further on, even just in Ancient God stuff, knowing the loop of killing enemies, setting them on fire, doing glory kills, setting them on fire to get armor, doing glory kills to get health, and then when you run out of ammo, chainsawing somebody to get more ammo back.
Yeah.
Doing that loop properly is not optional. It is mandatory.
I see.
Because the enemies that come out will be so hard, they'll have so much health that you will run out of ammo. Like I've been in a situation where like I only had 1 weapon with ammo left, and I needed to go find a fodder guy to chainsaw to get my stuff back. And it's kind of like what you would want out of this kind of game, this like boomer shooter, movement shooter type of thing. Like you want that challenge. Like if you bought the DLC, you're in it.
To win.
You're in it to test your skills.
Yeah.
And I'm having an absolutely fantastic time. I do have to like, all right, I banged my head against the wall. I had the moment the other day where I had to fight a spirit, like one of the charging enemies who had the spirit inside him.
Yeah.
And I died like 5 times in a row. And I was like, all right, take a break.
Sucks.
And I came back today and I beat him first try. And I was like, okay, I just needed a break. Like my brain was just fried.
Yeah, sometimes you just get tired. You don't realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not thinking.
But yeah, it's fantastic. It is still super highly recommended. And also the DLC is not just levels. These are all story stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
so they're continuing the story from after you beat the Icon of Sin in the first game, and then all the story characters are back. You're trying to defeat the things of hell because there's like other greater powers beyond the person you defeated that are doing stuff, and it's kind of setting up, it seems like a third game, but we'll see how the second DLC goes.
Sounds cool.
It's awesome. It's fucking fantastic. If you want to play a fast-paced first-person shooter on the PC, I cannot recommend Doom Eternal enough. And it also makes me want to buy. There's this indie game I kind of want to buy. It's called Ultra Kill. It looks like the graphics are like it's Doom 64.
Yeah.
Like it looks old as shit. But apparently they have like all these cool like shooting mechanics that they use to like build up style meter and like movement shoot and do all this stuff. So I kind of want to check that out now.
Cool.
So we'll see. But yeah, it's great. It's game time.
Yeah.
It's good.
Neat. Yeah. Before we end, I one thing I forgot to mention is I got the new iPhone,
Oh, you did?
the 14 Pro. It's pretty cool.
Purple.
It's purple. The camera's wicked.
But does it have 100 times zoom?
No,
That's what I thought.
it certainly does not. Which I'm okay with.
Dude, only 3 cameras? Dude, my S22 Ultra has 5.
Oh wow. But I bet my pictures look better.
I bet they don't.
Wow. I tried the action mode. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Do they have stability and stuff on there for that?
It's crazy smooth.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's very weird. Took some cinematic pictures. Pretty cool. 4K. I set all my videos to record in 4K, 24 frames per second. So it's always like a movie.
Only 4K?
Yeah, man. I don't need 8K. You know why? Because I can't edit footage in 8K.
Doesn't matter. Okay? It's to flex. All right? Look, I could do Ultra HD 60 and 8K 24.
Oh my god,
bro.
But
how many megapixels is your camera?
48.
That's that's it. I got 108 megapixels, kid. With the detail in hand. This is like System Wars, but for phones now. Like PlayStation's better than Xbox, bitch.
Anyways.
You made the wrong decision, kid.
I made the right decision. Right. The reason I bring up the iPhone is I played Marvel Snap.
Yeah.
The card game. As someone who's not into digital card games,
I think it's pretty good.
This game's pretty good.
How does it work? Like, what's the flow?
You basically load up your field with heroes, and like every hero has a special ability.
Okay.
And there's like 3 territories, like on the field, like middle. And then the idea is you keep loading, like you put all your cards in face down, like one at a time, and then you flip, and then you flip them to see who has more power on said field. And there's 3 fields, right?
Okay.
And then each field you could load up with as many heroes as you want, depending on what you want to do. And then after that it goes into like a battle phase and whatnot. It's one of those games that's like very simple as a concept. Like the opening level tutorials are actually really good for just teaching you how it works.
Yeah.
It's a very quick paced game. I don't know. It's something I think you need to try out. I think like if you're looking for a digital card game, this is probably the one to play right now. Like because Hearthstone's like as good as dead.
True. Runeterra is pretty good.
Runeterra is good.
Not enough people play it.
Really?
Yeah, it's easily their worst performing.
Really?
game.
I would have never guessed. Yeah. Okay. But then again, I guess with League and Valorant, why? Yeah, right. Of course it is.
Valorant card game. I play AK-47.
Do they even have that in there?
No, it's like
they have like Spectre.
Yeah, Spectre, Judge.
I tried playing Valorant again. It's just that's a game I really want to get into.
Dude, just click heads.
I just hate CS style game.
Just click heads. It's so easy.
But yeah, Marvel Snap, check it out. Like if you want that digital card game itch, that's definitely the game. I would say the only reason you shouldn't do this is if you, for some reason, despise Marvel. Like you're just like, oh, True. Marvel is everywhere
Image
now.
Comics only.
Like I hate how everyone likes Marvel movies. Like you're probably not going to.
Dude, you're based, but stop being a wiener, right?
Yeah. And that is the end of the show, I believe.
Yes.
TJ was not here today.
Yeah, he's
Unfortunately.
got the vid.
He does have
So
the vid.
Wish him well.
So that's 2 out of 3. I'm still.
I can find some people to give it to you.
I'm good, man.
I can do it.
Listen, as the only person here who hasn't had it, but also the only person here who's broken his bone this year.
Yeah, true.
I feel like we're
pussy ass bitch. Drink some milk. All this almond milk you're drinking. No calcium. God
What
damn.
are you talking about?
That's why your bones are so brittle, kid.
God. Anyways, that's it from us. Oh no, Halloween's not coming up yet, so don't worry. There's nothing to worry about yet.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, just to get ahead of the game, start building up your Christmas playlist.
No.
All right, because I'm doing that on the Spotify now. I've been listening to some Michael Bublé this week, bro. I'm prepared for the Christmas spirit.
We don't need any Christmas music.
We do.
I'll tell you. Come December 23rd, you can totally play all the Christmas music.
Dude, I started already.
What are you doing? What's wrong with you? What's
you
wrong with you?
You know that YouTube video where it's the Michael Bublé Christmas album with the fire log?
Yeah.
I've been listening to that.
Why?
Because I need someone to listen to while I'm farming. Right?
Someone was playing Christmas music at their desk, and you know what I did?
What?
I just unplugged their computer.
Why?
Because I was like, too early.
So they lost all their files because it's too early?
No, they weren't on their computer. It was just
okay,
playing music. I
Oh.
was just like, no, too early. Yeah, I was like, enough.
Dude,
Enough.
it's the most wonderful time.
Enough.
All right.
We cannot. All right. Anyways, thanks for listening. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.